All right, here we are at our 1983 Chris Craft 281 Catalina for sale here on the beautiful freshwaters of Norris Lake, Tennessee. This boat has had a long history with the current owner. They have owned it quite a while. They've got service records dating back into the 90s. Current slip here is transferable. If you need a place to keep it, it can stay right here. And we're located on the northeast corner of Norris Lake, Tennessee, near La Follette. And the current owners of this one, like I said, they have owned it for some time. Lots of records available, and they are they're selling due to their age and health. If you can look through a little bit of the oxidation and dust and cobwebs on this one, I think you'll find a sound boat. Even just below the rub rail here, especially as you get back towards the back to this covered slip, you can definitely tell we've still got some shine left on this gel coat, especially back here near this transom. Nice shiny. Of course, you've got a nice teak swim platform, swim boarding ladder. Lady Catherine is the name of this one back here. And even this side, again below the rub rail, you've got some good gel coat under there. A few marks. We'll take a little bit closer look before we finish up. Above the rub rail, you know, you've got some cracking on that gel coat, some oxidation up above the rub rail a little bit more back here where that Chris Craft logo is. You got some of this little cracking going on both sides. But given the age of this one, I think it's safe to say they've done an incredible job keeping it in good condition. I'm going to climb inside this Issenglass camper canvas enclosure. We've got Issenglass showing a little age, but I also want to point out we've got screens. So you've got your plastic enclosure, you've got screen, and you've got canvas, and then you've even got a little privacy curtain that I've dropped the 3 privacy curtains here for some lighting, and so you can see the condition of this one. I like to represent these as accurately as possible, and I like for there to be surprises when people make the trip to come see our listings in person. So we do try to give you the full 360-degree tour. So it's an older boat, but well cared for, long freshwater history, and again, extensive service records available on this one. Reach out to us through our website and contact us for more information on this one. We'll have all that we can put on our website. So this one started with their engine hatches raised, just so you can just because how these come up. So I'm going to go ahead and start here, and then I'll close the hatch. We'll go down and we'll visit the helm and then the cabin area. But I do want to remind you, visit the website, yournewboat.com, for the current asking price and full list of features, and that's where you're going to want to contact us. You can reach us by phone, by text, or by email, whatever's most convenient for you. So this is powered by 225 horsepower inboard direct drive engines, and we're showing, let's see, on our port engine we're showing about 1,089 hours, and over here on our starboard engine we are showing about 308.5 engine hours. Halon automatic fire extinguisher system is mounted in between the two. Here's your starting batteries. One's from 2020, the other from 2018. We've got a newly replaced 6-gallon electric hot water heater mounted here. And this is in a winterization state, so if you see something that's, you know, catches your eye, like for instance this that hot water pressure relief valve's turned open, that is because it is in a winterized state. Now, if you've looked at a lot of boats, you also might notice you've got some PEX plumbing in here, and you typically did not see that in the 1983s. All the plumbing has been replaced with PEX plumbing. All the wiring's been redone as well. And additionally, we've got, well, I don't think you can see it from right here. Let me open up this other hatch. call your attention to a few other things before we leave cockpit area, before I close our hatches. So this 125 gallon aluminum fuel tank. We've got a 1000 watt Xantrex inverter that is right there in the center of the frame now, and it's got 2 batteries on either side of it. Got two onboard battery chargers right here, 15 watt onboard charger, and that would be a Bass Pro 10 amp 2-bank battery charger. And then right here is an automatic oil changer system that will make for quite efficient oil changes. And then this right here, this is a water flush system for those batteries. That's one area of maintenance that I would say tends to get neglected the most, is batteries, especially inverter batteries. The water levels are not checked periodically enough. A lot of people will think, well, if we're not using the boat, we're not using the inverter, but that is not the case at all, because that inverter is constantly getting used. Even when you're not leaving the slip, you're plugged into shore power. Unless you've taken the time to actually bypass that inverter, chances are that is getting basically in a constant state of charge or either discharge whenever it's being used. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing your rounds this spring. If you do have an inverter, be sure to check your battery fluid levels. So I'm going to lower these engine hatches now. Actually almost goofed up. I took the strap off the other side. I was going to lower that one first, but the hatch here on the starboard side needs to go down first because of how that lip lays, and then the port side hatch can go down right there. All right, I've got some courtesy lights on here, and you can see the basically the cockpit of the flooring in here has been painted. We got a few, nicks here and there. Again, this is a 1983 model boat. This is a removable ladder, meaning this ladder will lift out. And then we've got this large upholstered bench seat back here that will actually convert to more of a sun lounge. So this back piece right here can actually be moved. And once you pull out that cockpit ladder, of course we'll get that table out of the way, then you can actually make a little bit more of a sun pad back there for those sun lovers out there. So 125 gallons of fuel capacity, 25 gallon freshwater tank, 6 gallon hot water heater, electric hot water heater, and also a 25 gallon waste holding tank. We got a Vaccuflush head. We'll get to that here in a few. We've got 2 spotlights on this one. There's your spotlight controls for each. We've got a VHF radio right here, low RAN step finder with shallow alarms, newer trim tabs. This is your Bennett trim tab controls. Here's your full engine instrumentation. You've got your tachometers. They've added digital oil pressure and water temperature gauges for both engines. And then of course you've got your battery voltmeters, fuel gauge, analog oil pressure gauges as well. Show the tachometer. Ritchie compass just forward of your helm there. And then we've got a Garmin GPS map 4012 or 4012. That is a GPS chart plotter with a sonar unit. It's going to be a depth and fish finder sonar unit system. We've got a ship's bell over here. That's for running in the fog per U.S. Coast Guard regulations. A few stress cracks, here and there as well. We've, touched on a little bit of that on the exterior. There's some more areas right here around this step, right in there, depending on how the lighting hits that. And then you got a few marks here and there where you can see that fiberglass. Mentioned that earlier. I don't know if I showed it well enough right here on the cockpit floor around those hatches. Some nice storage integrated in. Lots of cove rope going with this one. Current owners are getting out of boating, so you're going to have a fair amount of accessories that will be included with this one. Somebody is just getting started. This might be a great option for you. And as you can see, as we step in the cabin, we can sleep, I would say, between 4 to 6 people on this one, depending on the size of your people. I'm going to show you our galley first. Got a little cockpit sink. We've got a dual burner range top, this electric cooktop. with the option to use alcohol as well. So it's a dual source. You've got alcohol or electric cooktop, 2-burner range. Coffee maker. Got a microwave that's been added. It's been mounted overhead. Got some nice storage integrated in. And then we've got a dual, this is a dual source, this is a 12 volt or electric. Little refrigerator, freezer. I was pretty impressed with the condition of this one. I really was. Nice little teak accent around your countertop here. And then we've got a convertible dinette. Now, if you take the time to go to our website, we're going to have a full slideshow photo tour of this one at our website. Again, that's yournewboat.com. We've got some exterior photos of this outside the slip where you'll be able to see the lines on it a lot better and see how it's laid out on the exterior. But then we're going to show some photos of this dinette actually made into a bed. Basically, that table will drop. The back cushions will slide over and cover that tabletop. You can kind of see that little tray where that's going to lay there. So you're going to be able to sleep, 1 to 2 people there, depending on the size. And then we've got a nice large V-berth up here. Got a nice little table with some lights and 12 volt outlet right there next to the table. Got a little storage area behind that dinette area. And then this V-berth that basically added, so you're going to have your original cushions underneath. You've got about a 2 to 3 inch memory foam pad that's been made for this V-berth, and some bedding. So that's nice and wide. Again, storage. You basically have storage underneath that from both directions here, and actually the center part will actually remove as well. But you put that in whenever you're using it as a bed. All right, and then over here to the starboard side of the cabin, you've got a nice bench seat that converts to a bunk bed, and this I think I can do with our camera rolling. Let's see here. Gonna use my shoulder to kind of prop this up, and then you've got a little latch right here. Goes right into place there, and then once I've got that one going, I can let that rest and take my time here hooking the other side. So I've got a bunk bed here, so that's going to be able to sleep 2, maybe another 1 to 2 in the V-berth, and another 1 to 2 over here in the dinette. So again, that's why we'll list it as sleeping 4 to 6, and then depending on the size of your crew, which you'll know better than we will, I'll tell you how many you can actually sleep in here. We got a small little stereo right here. It's a AM, FM, CD, cassette stereo. And we've also got storage. Not only do you have storage kind of integrated behind this bunk seat, right here. Basically, this is going to get covered up when you lower this bunk down. But then you've also got storage underneath here. Then also, I want to call your attention. This is our marine heat and air unit right here. This is a cruise air marine heat and air conditioning unit. This is essentially a geothermal unit that is going to make hot and cold air with your lake water. Carpet in here has been replaced. It's not original. We've got a small hanging locker right here, and just behind this door would be our head compartment. This is a Vaccuflush head. That is the type of marine head that you want if you get a choice. You're probably not going to go out and buy a boat just because it has Vaccuflush, but if the one you like happens to have a Vaccuflush head, you're going to love it. You'll be starting with the best option there. So small little cockpit sink. Also got a shower. And then, of course, there's a track that's going to run around through here. So if you're actually using this as a shower, there is a curtain right there. And then, of course, you got a drain in the floor. And then you've got a little shower sump pump just underneath the floor there. It's going to pump out that water. I like this little cubby right here. They've got a little hair dryer, and you've got a, I believe it's listed as a GFI protected outlet right there. But again, nice roomy head compartment with a Vaccuflush head. And your freshwater tank's actually up underneath the V-berth area, and your waste holding tank. Here's your Vaccuflush systems right underneath the floor here, and that, again, that's a 25-gallon waste holding tank that was actually replaced recently. and try to give you the full 360-degree tour here. Show you our headline here. We got two 12-volt fans integrated in your cabin here as well, and then of course all your curtains. Those are actually have been replaced recently, and those you've got little sliding windows around there. Now there's some canvas behind these curtains, but this will also bring in a lot of natural lighting right there behind those curtains as well. So very large, roomy cabin down here. This is a 28 feet, 11-inch length. It's a 32-foot LOA. That's length overall. That's when you count the your little bow pulpit and your swim platform. And I believe it's a 10-foot, 9-inch beam. Only about a 2.5-foot draft. That's because we're running those inboard engines, direct drive engines. And now is where we kind of start to look for all that wear and tear. I kind of pointed out some of those stress cracks earlier. Some more over here. And let's head out on the exterior again. We're gonna walk up towards our bow. We've got two remote spotlights. There's one. Another large one up there near the bow. There's your horns right there. We've got windshield wipers. There's your anchor light. That's just tilted back. Some Fender Storage. Little look at that right there. You know, you've got a little bracket right there for that anchor to lay in, so it's not rolling around. Of course, here's your hatch down there for the V-Berth. Here's those windows I referenced earlier from down below. Now, a little bit of a stress crack right here at the base of this window. Now you are under a covered slip here, but that's something that if you're leaving your covered slip, you're going to want to seal that up, even if it's just with like some Marine 4200, something like that, just to seal that up so no water gets in there. There's your Garmin antenna for that GPS Chartplotter, that Garmin 4012 GPS unit. And there was a few marks around the exterior here. Yeah, here's one right here. We've got a little bit of fiberglass showing here. And then I think I pointed out on the other side a little bit of that stress cracking and that striping up here above the rub rail. Again, below the rub rail. I think this is going to clean up nice. A few little marks in that blue there. I think I've really noticed anything over here on the starboard side, the port side. There was a little bit of a mark below the rub rail. I'll walk back over there so you can see that one more time. And you know, back here we've got some dust and dirt on it from where it's been under this covered slip. A little bit of a mark right here on this corner, nothing major. And of course, all of our inventory is offered subject to buyer inspection. So, you know, anything that we have listed, you can be able to make an offer on it contingent on further inspection. We can bring in a marine surveyor, which is really what you want to do for a boat of this age, just to have it thoroughly checked out, make sure that that you're buying what you think you're buying and we're selling what we think we're selling. Another little mark, I think I showed this a little bit earlier. This little mark through that gel coat, and see the fiberglass showing there. And a little bit of mark on that stripe over here where this Chris Craft logo is. And I think there was one more up here. But that's that other stripe that I referenced earlier. And then just below the rubber, yeah, it was this side right here. We had a few little marks right here, just in that gel coat. Of course, this is well up above the water line, but it is catching my fingernail there. Those are just little marks where the boats come into close contact with the dock. And again, I think this is really going to clean up nicely below that rub rail. You'll be able to get a nice little shine back on there, but there is some oxidation to remove. Probably the transom is the least bit of oxidation back here, where you've got Lady Catherine right here above your swim platform. That's got a little bit of a shine on it still, even though it's got some little bit of dust and dirt laying on top of it. But again, this is that 1983 Chris Craft Catalina 281 cabin cruiser for sale. Again, this is a 32-foot boat, 10-foot 9-inch beam. It's about a 7,000 pound dry weight. We're gonna have some photos of it outside the slip, so you can get a better feel for it. But again, this slip is transferable. It can stay right here. Again, invite you to visit the website if you haven't already. If you take the time, open up a new tab or a window, type in yournewboat.com, click enter, and then just scroll down till you get to the 1983 Chris Craft Catalina 281. You're gonna see one of those aerials of it with it out of the slip. And then again, any questions you have about this, please don't hesitate to reach out to us through our website. We do not monitor the YouTube comment page. Current asking price will likely change on this the longer it's listed. Sellers are fairly motivated to see it go to a new home. They are not able to care for it any longer. And once you do make it to our website, you'll be able to reach us by phone, by text, or by email. We do like to remind you, if you call us on the phone and you get our voicemail, we may not know that you called unless you leave a message. If you leave a detailed message, let me know what questions you have, what listing you're looking at. We're often without cell phone reception. If you take the time to do that, as soon as we get back in cell phone range, we'll return that call, answer all your questions. Same thing if you send us an email. We're generally very quick about responding to emails, but if you have not received a reply to your email within 1 business day, check your spam folder. And you can also reach us by text for those quick questions, or just want to confirm something's available or where it's located. Feel free to shoot us a text as well, whatever's most easiest for you. Again, it's the 1983 Chris Craft Catalina 281 for sale here on beautiful Norris Lake, Tennessee. And again, this slip is transferable. If you want to leave it right here, absolutely, we can do that. And thank you again for joining us.